This is Jeffrey Crivero, and I'm conducting an oral history with Eugene Mason. The interview is being conducted at the Zellwood Community Center in Zellwood, Florida, on Saturday, March 25th, 2023. Mr. Mason, thank you for speaking with us today. Would you please begin by stating your name and telling us a little bit about where you're from and what life was like for you growing up?
My name is Eugene Mason, and growing up in Zellwood was quite good. And you could contribute your growing up. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child. I grew up in a village where you could not do anything as a child and it didn't get back to your parents, or you would be corrected on the spot. Then your parents would be informed and you'll be recorrected again. And growing up, it was really good, actually. Most of the work was farm work around, and most of the kids worked on the farm during school and after school. You know, you just hang around, play, do kid stuff, but overall, we had different elderly men in the area that would get you together and talk to you, counsel you, kind of like give you some insight on life. You know, gentlemen like Mr. Williams, Ned Williams, John Anderson, Clarence Cunningham, Mr. Charlie Van, John Anderson. These were men who took an interest in young men around, and they would get you together and just talk to you, tell you about things. And when, like, I was a sole parent kid, my mother, so anything that we were doing wrong, my brother, we would have to go see one of these gentlemen and have a talk or be redirected in our mode of thinking. But other than that, growing up, you had to go to school. That was number one. You didn't miss school. You missed the school bus, but you still didn't miss school. You had to get there. You might be late, but you got to school. And after growing up around Zellwood, doing different jobs, I never was really much on the farm, working the farm, but I mostly did most of my earning around the neighborhood, cutting grass, washing windows, cleaning kitchens, cooking. That's how I got into cooking. And I love to cook, and I'm a chef now. I went to the Culinary Institute of America. I was in food service about 23 years in the military. So food is basically my interest. When I'm cooking or in the kitchen, I'm comfortable. I'm at ease. But other than that, we had a very, very good life around.
Where did you attend school? Do you remember some memories that stand out?
Yeah, my elementary school was in Zellwood at the Frederick Douglass Elementary. And there we did a lot of things in terms of activities, which they don't do now, plant the maypole, play dodgeball. And it was like in the first and second grade was in the same room, third and fourth grade was in the same room, fifth and sixth grade was in the same room. So you kind of got a double portion of learning when in the classroom, because you could hear and do things with the fifth and sixth grade or whatever, you know. So school, that was good. Then I went to Plymouth. The sixth grade year they discontinued, and we went to Plymouth to sixth grade. And from Plymouth Elementary, we went to Popka, Phyllis Wheatley, to the seventh grade. And I graduated from Phyllis Wheatley High School in 1962. and I left and pursued my culinary education, and then I got drafted into the military, and that's where I really got into culinary, culinary club, different convention, different things, and all the schools that the Army offered at first, culinary go, I attended. And after I retired, that's when I went to the Culinary Institute of America and got my degree in culinary education.
What year was that?
That was in 1991. And from there I went to Germany. I went and I worked for the Army and Air Force Exchange Services, and then for about 3 months, and then I went to work for the American Embassy in Bonn, Germany. And I was a chef at the embassy club there, and we did all sorts of engagement. We had 21 embassies that joined, that serviced the club, the restaurant where we worked at. And we had different themes of each country. And also we had almost every so often we did like the International Press Conference, buffet dinners. We did different country dinners. And I think we got to work with a lot of international chefs that would come in to do their part for their country. And I had a chance to work with Chef Ash from Hawaii. He had a group come in, and we did the I think international. I can't think right now. It was the international club for the agriculture department, and we did that. And at the time, we had, I think, Honorable Charles Brown was the agriculture chief at that time, and we did different things for the government, different. And we did different culinary shows, international culinary shows, which we did competitions, and I came in second. Japan beat me out. The U.S., Japan, a lady chef beat me out from Japan out of 21 embassies. So we had a lot of experience, doing a lot of things. You get to meet a lot of diplomats come through. You get to see them. You might not. Some of them you talk to. I remember when the former President Nixon came through. We had President Clinton, he came, and we had Ambassador Albright, Ambassador Redmond. There was quite a few that I got to meet, and some of them I talked to, some of them I didn't. But they would come and say hello to the staff, but that was great. And after that, I retired and came back to Florida. And I worked for the Division of Business and Professional Regulation. And after that, I started my own restaurant in Winter Garden. For 12 years, I had my own restaurant, a barbecue restaurant, where I like doing comfort meals everything was like southern cooking, and it was quite popular. And so after a turn, I retired totally, and now I do nothing.
What was the name of the restaurant?
Willie's Barbecue. The reason to say it was Willie's Barbecue because when I bought the restaurant, I didn't change the name because everybody knew the name, but we kept the name as Willie's Barbecue, and I ran that for 12 years.
What are some of your favorite things about your community?
Oh, I like the community. It's just a good community. We get to know, some people have their own thoughts about it, but to me, I grew up there and I enjoy it. I try to participate in different things. I belong to the Zellwood Golden Ages Club. I'm a member of the Zellwood Improvement Project, and we do special work restoring the cemetery. We have the cemetery really overgrown, and I happened to read about it because I never went out there for years. So I read about it, so I got interested in doing that, and so we started to renovate clean the cemetery. That's one of the things. I'm still active in keeping the cemetery clean. It's an old cemetery from date back to the 1800s, and I enjoy doing that, and just communicating with kids that grew up, well, adults I grew up with, and I love playing. We go to the center, we play domino, we meet at the center and just talk, discuss things, and just try to fix out different projects to help out in the community. To me, it's a nice community. It's not a subdivision, but it's a nice community.
What are some of the major changes you've seen between back then and today?
Oh, back then and today?
Mm-hmm.
Paved streets. Back in the day when I come along, we had all dirt streets. We have street lights now. Back then we had no street lights. We have paved streets, sidewalk, which is a change. The entrance to the street itself has changed. It's different from when I was a kid. Before it was straight, and then they came in when they redid the streets. They turned Willow Street into 441, and now they have 2 subdivisions there in the neighborhood now. It has been a big change, but it's for the best. For the best. So, other than that, it's been a lot of changes for the best. Oh, but one thing I know. As a kid growing up, we were the baseball capital of Central Florida. We had a really good baseball team from the older guys that played baseball in Zellwood. That was the highlight of the weekend, especially on Sunday, attending a baseball game, and after the baseball game they would have a big fish fry. All you could eat, everybody contribute to the fish fry. So that was nice.
Did they have their own stadium here?
Or
Or field, I mean.
Yeah, we had
park.
our own field,
Mhm.
which now it's still there, but yeah, we had our own field, but it's no longer a baseball field. No. So, other than that,
Do you have anything else you want to add or expand on? Do you have any final thoughts for us?
only thing I could say is it's come a long ways for the better. And I just still enjoy living there. And it still has a lot of opportunities to go and to be. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mason, thank you so much for sharing your time and speaking with us today.
Right. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. This has been Jeffrey Crivera with Eugene Mason on March 25th, 2023.